In Parshas Va'era, we learn about 7 of the 10 plagues that Hashem hit Egypt with before finally freeing the Jews from the Egyptian bondage. Now there's a very powerful, short, sweet, and simple, but very revolutionary lesson to learn from just the first 2 plagues, which were blood and frogs. The plague of blood was the turning over of the waters of the Nile River. The water became blood, the Egyptians had no water to drink, etc. And frogs were a giant frog, as the Medrash says, emerged from the Nile River. As the Egyptians tried whacking it, more frogs came out of its mouth, and they went everywhere. They went into the homes, into the beds, and even Torah makes a point to say that the frogs even went into the ovens of the Egyptians. What do these 2 plagues and the order of these 2 plagues represent? Blood, water represents coldness. Water's cold and tasteless. Blood represents warmth and passion. So the first plague, in other words, what's the first step of breaking free of Egyptian bondage and entering the promised land? The first step towards redemption would be taking our cold, indifferent attitude towards godliness and turning that over towards warmth and developing positive passion towards godliness and towards good, positive, productive things. The flip side is represented to in the frogs. Frogs are cold, slimy creatures, and as Torah mentions, they jumped into the ovens. So that represents redemptive coldness. Being able to, instead of being passionate about material and shallow, worldly endeavors and things, it represents being able to remain indifferent from things that are shallow. Being able to remain indifferent from physicality, and to be able to keep my passion towards higher and greater things. That's the representation of these 2 plagues in a nutshell. Now, what comes out interesting is, what's the order of these 2 plagues? We don't say first develop cold indifference, first detach from the world, and only then can you engage in spirituality. First detach from bad, and only then can you engage good. The order of these 2 plagues is first engage in good, get passionate about what's positive, and then you'll detach from what's negative. This is very counterintuitive and very revolutionary. Even in Judaism, the pasuk says, "Sur meira va'aseh tov," stay away from evil and engage in good. If you're trying to get engaged in mitzvahs, in Torah mitzvahs, in growing in your Judaism, while you're holding on to things that are the antithesis, that are the exact opposite, you're just going to be a paradox, one might say. First, sur meira, disengage from evil, asura mikan, turn away from the dark side, and then you could engage the light side. Or, as the mashal Chassidus gives to this, we are here on this world to make this world a dwelling place for Hashem. So if I'm trying to bring God's presence into this world and make it his home, first I need to clear away the dust, the dirt, and the bad furniture, and only then can I bring him into the home. It makes no sense to say bring God into the home and only then clear away the dirt. That's inappropriate. But it looks like from this week's Parsha that there's another possible approach. And Chassidus takes this approach on full throttle, which says, don't wait to disengage from bad before engaging in good. Engage. The first step of redemption is blood. Develop passion and turn on your spiritual engines and engage godliness. Find your place in Judaism that talks to you, that you could find the beauty of your soul. And when you find the beauty of your soul, you'll actually develop the power and resilience to stay away from negative things too. There's an interesting mashal for this, and we see these days very, very effective in parenting and very, very effective in education in general. A student and a child needs to feel that they're loved and cherished and that you get them. And otherwise, it's a constant fight to get them to stop doing what you're trying to tell them not to do. You don't get me. You don't understand me. Your job is to tell me to behave. But the moment these days a child or a student could feel that they're loved and cherished and valued by the educator, then they want to listen. Show me that you love me, and then I will detach from, and then I'm going to trust you. And then what you're telling me not to do too will be... I will listen to much stronger. Here's a mashal. The sun and the wind were having a debate, seeing who's stronger. So the wind says, watch what I could do. And there's a man who's wearing a trench coat and a hat. and the wind blows full blast and trying to knock this guy's stuff off. And the man holds onto his hat and his coat, and the wind goes more and more. It's becoming a hurricane, and eventually, after much pushing, he blows the guy's hat off, and he blows the guy's coat off. And the sun says, not bad, watch what I could do. The sun just shines, 80 degrees, 90 degrees, it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer, and eventually it gets hot, so the man himself just takes off his own coat and takes off his hat. If we're trying to engage in Sur Meirah, it's a struggle, it's hard. But if I feel how valuable I am, if I feel how close, if I could feel real closeness to Hashem, if I could develop an appreciation for the beauty of Elikos, automatically I'm going to want to develop a distant attitude towards things that are opposite of that. To finish off, there's a beautiful story of the Rebbe, where there was a Kohen, a Baal Tshuva, someone who came close to Judaism, and he was in a relationship with a woman that he wasn't halachically allowed to be in, because a Kohen is held to certain standards about who he's allowed to marry, and he was dating a girl who halachically he would not be allowed to marry. And he told his rabbi that I'm getting so close in my Judaism, but this is just a struggle. I don't see myself being able to give up on this relationship. Anyways, this person met the Rebbe one time, and the Rebbe told him a very unique statement from the Rebbe himself. The Rebbe told this Kohen, they say about me that I'm a Talmudic scholar, I'm a Talmud Chacham. And the Rebbe points around his office to the tons of svarim around the office, and the Rebbe says, and even if I would study and know every single book backwards and forwards around this office and retain such wisdom and depth, I could never become a Kohen. That's just not something that was gifted to me. That was something that was gifted to you. So why would you want to tarnish that? Why would you want to get in the way of that? And the man broke off the relationship. Tell a Kohen not to marry a woman, that's very difficult. Tell a Kohen how special him being a Kohen is. Show him the beauty and power that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, knowing all Torah literature, is not able to achieve that status of Kohen. You have it. Bring out the beauty of being a Kohen. So automatically I'm going to feel, okay, now I have enough light to dispel the darkness, and to detach is not going to be that difficult anymore. We should apply this lesson and reap the benefits accordingly. Have a great Shabbos.